Can you actually learn bass self-taught? How long would it take? And how decently good could you get? I'm glad you asked. See, I know for sure that you can learn bass almost entirely self-taught, because that's what I did. And if you do it right, you can get good enough to play simple songs and jam in as little as a month or two. But you can also fail horribly, because there's no teacher there to stop you from doing all the wrong things and wasting years. I've been playing bass for about a year now, and I still suck. I've been playing for 2 years and have barely progressed beyond what would take a normal person 6 months. But wait, it gets worse. I've been trying to learn bass on and off for 14 years now, and I'm still not even at the point where I can play a song from start to finish. 14 years! Holy shit! So, yeah, how do you not be that person and avoid whatever self-teaching mistakes they made? By using the stupidly simple 6 commandments of self-teaching. Wait, is there only 6?
Follow these commandments 6, and thine bass playing shalt be sick.
Wow, are you God?
No, I am the boomy voice of bassists past, inclusive and inoffensive to all religions, beliefs, or denominations.
Oh, that's great. Nice to meet you, Bass Ghost. What's the first commandment?
The first commandment, set thee thine goals.
Check it out. Here is a practice routine full of good things. Should you do this routine? How would you know? Well, if you're trying to get to the next level with jazz walking bass, then yes, this is great. But if you're a noob who just wants to learn that cool Chili Peppers bass line, you'd be wasting your time and getting lost. Without knowing your goals, you can't non-stupidly decide what to practice. Which means you could easily be can't play a song after 14 years guy. Ugh. Goals are how you decide whether exercises or theory or whatever are useful or not useful for you. Sounds basic, but most bassists suck at setting goals, and here's why. Say you're a noob and your goal is to play Hysteria by Muse. What do? Even if you somehow pick the right stuff to practice, you're not gonna get meaningfully close to playing a bass line that hard for many months, maybe more. So you're gonna feel like a failure the whole time because you haven't achieved your mega goal, and then write depressing posts in the bass subreddit. But don't live that miserable life. You can solve your goal problems by creating long, medium, and short-term goals that all work together. Let's say your long-term goal is something like play with your friend's bar band. Totally doable, but it's gonna take some months to get there from scratch. And if you only had that long goal, you'd think you were failing if after a month or two you still weren't ready, which is how your medium-term goal comes to save the day. This is based on what you do versus where you get. Like, I'm gonna practice 20 minutes a day, 4 times a week for the next 3 months. Medium goals are the key to not getting demotivated, because it's something you actually have control over. Every day you show up, you tick a box and accomplish part of your goal. But what do you actually do in that time? That's where your short-term goals come in, the stuff you're gonna practice day to day. And these should be based on breaking your long goal down into smaller parts. So for your long-term band goal, you'll probably want to focus day to day on stuff like practicing solid rhythm with a drummer and coming up with simple bass lines to a chord chart. So that's easy enough. But let's say you're super hardcore and your goal is to learn something advanced like Hysteria right out of the gate. So that's your gnarly long-term goal. Someday it'll pay off, but it won't really feel like it before then. To get there, you'll need a medium-term goal to keep making progress. Maybe you commit an hour a day, 5 times a week for 6 months. Yes, that sounds like a lot of work, but you're a beginner who wants to shred like Chris Wolstenholme. Deal with it. So in your day-to-day short-term goals, you'll definitely need to do some plucking speed practice and work your fretting hand coordination. So that's how this long, medium, short goal system can work for you. But I just handed you all the answers, which you won't have as a self-taught bassist. How do you figure out for yourself what day-to-day practice is going to get you to your long goal? This is where self-taught bassists flounder, practice the wrong stuff, and then rage post on Reddit 7 years later. And frankly, teachers help with this a lot, at least good ones. They have the expertise to know what to teach you to get you to your goals. But this video is about DIYing it, and if you're really committed to that and you don't want to get stuck, this is the one and only moment where I'll pitch you to check out my Beginner to Badass course. Its comprehensive step-by-step curriculum is the best way for beginners to get started. And with pre-recorded video lessons, you can self-teach at whatever pace is best for you. So if you want to save yourself some trouble, click the link below or check it out at bassbuzz.com.
Silence, fool! That does not constitute self-teaching.
Yeah, fair enough. You can create your own curriculum and practice routine, but beginners screw this up all the time. Either they miss whole categories of crucial learning, or they try to do it all at once and get head exploded. So let me break it down for you. The stuff you should focus on to get maximum bass gains as a beginner. Hit it, Bass Ghost.
The second commandment, learn thy songs.
I know, your mind is screaming, no, I must grind exercises in the shed before I am worthy. But think about it. What inspires you to want to play bass in the first place? Is it exercises or songs? According to Fender data, 90% of new guitarists quit within a year. That just sucks. And if you don't feel the inspiring rush of playing songs you love early on, what makes you think you're not going to be part of that 90%? So yes, exercises and grinding are also great. We'll get there in a minute. But learning songs is super fun and motivating, so they make the best long-term goals. Plus, playing with songs will naturally teach you rhythm, technique, and train your ear early on. I've listed some fun, easy songs you can start with in the free PDF in the description, which has tons of other resources to help you get started with self-teaching bass. Or you don't even need to learn existing songs to have fun and stay inspired. With no theory or lessons, you can just noodle around with your fingers and make up something that you think sounds cool. It's fun, but without the next commandment, you won't have the coordination to be able to play songs or anything.
The third commandment, suffer not poor technique.
Technique is all the physical skills of playing the bass, fretting, plucking, muting. And if you ask yourself, why can't I play my goal song yet? The answer is often technique. You can work on that with bass exercises, but there's like infinity of them, so how do you know which ones to do? Honestly, without a teacher's expertise, you kind of have to guess and check. But the good news is pretty much any exercise will improve your playing if you follow this checklist. Focus on how you play, not what you play. Practice with a metronome or drum track. Start slower than you think you should start. Don't speed up until you can play decently at least 5 times in a row, and track your progress in a simple journal. I've got tons of exercise options you can try in the free PDF in the description. Pick something that feels like it'll help you play the song of your dreams, and watch your technique improve. But even with good technique, songs can still be hard to learn. Like, you look at this mess of numbers on a tab, and like, how are you supposed to remember all these patterns?
And so needst thou the fourth commandment, make thy life easier.
This commandment lumps together a couple things that, yeah, you could be a solid bassist without knowing, but it's a lot harder. First of all, fretboard knowledge, so you don't get lost constantly and over-rely on tabs. This means learning how notes are named and where they live on the bass neck. Plus, identifying patterns and shapes that are useful for bass playing. So when you learn a song, it's not just rando tab numbers. You can group all that information into familiar chunks. And secondly of all, theory. Yeah, I said it. Not everyone needs to learn a bunch of music theory. I have a whole video on that I'll link in the PDF as well. But theory can help you understand what you're playing, memorize songs faster, and come up with your own cool stuff. So those are the big beginner practice categories: songs, technique, fretboard, maybe theory. There's more to learn. Life is long for humans and for bass ghosts, but if you focus on this, you'll get through your first year or two with real music skills. And you can use these as a checklist to make sure you reach your goals. So back to our example of learning Hysteria. Songs, that category is covered, duh. Technique, probably a lot of practice you'll need here. Fretboard and theory, not critical if you're just memorizing the tab, but if you knew the names of the notes and what scale they came from, it would be a lot easier to memorize. Plus, you'd make sure your development isn't lopsided. So if your medium goal is that hour per day, you could set your short-term practice routine something like warm up for 5 minutes, scales for 5 minutes, fretting exercises for 10 minutes, plucking exercises for 10 minutes, actually practicing the song in small chunks, 15 minutes, do something fun for decompression, 5 minutes. And yeah, that's kind of an intense practice routine. It all depends on how ambitious your goals are. And look, real talk, lots of people have goals and practice routines. But remember that Fender data? 90% of new guitarists quit within a year, and I'm sure at least some of them had goals and practice routines. How do we make sure that's not you? Save us, Bass Ghost!
The fifth commandment, avoid thy various pitfalls.
You can't just add thy to a normal sentence and expect it to sound archaic and sacred.
Well, I was
whatever. There's this big grab bag of stupid self-taught pitfalls that I see all the time as a teacher. They keep people from progressing, they make them want to give up, so let's save thy butt with a quick fire round of common mistakes and their solutions, an amount of time on the clock. Problem, buying the wrong bass. Solution, get a 4-string fretted bass you enjoy playing and get it set up. Problem, pressing way too hard with the fretting fingers and thumb. Solution, do the minimum viable pressure and thumb off exercises listed in the PDF. Problem, putting stickers on your frets to find the notes. Solution, never ever do this. Problem: trying to learn only through Musician, Guitar Hero, and Rocksmith. Solution: treat those as dessert, not dinner, and do some actual lessons. Problem: practicing unplugged. Solution: use an amp or headphones, it's way more fun, and you need to hear yourself how other people will hear you. Problem: putting the bass away in the case or closet. Solution: keep it ready to go on a stand so you don't forget to play. Or on the couch. Your housemates will love that. Problem: trying to learn all alone and feeling lonely. Solution: create musical community by jamming with friends or hanging out on friendly bass forums. Ding ding ding, but to really make sure you don't give up on self-teaching bass, we need to rescue you from the #1 thing that causes self-taught bassists to fail.
The 6th commandment, you shall be patient.
Despite the thrilling marketing of every business online claiming you can magically transform in just 30 days, oops. Actually self-teaching a skill is about the long game. It's not about the perfect practice routine or being consistent every single day. It's showing up over and over beyond the initial excitement, gradually making progress and making music. But even with the tools in this video, it's hard for most people to keep picking the right stuff to practice as the months go by. So if you don't want to be part of that 90% of quitters, click here for my video on what order to learn everything on bass for a totally free curriculum. It'll give you fresh, interesting material to work on for the next 6 to 12 months.
Thou shalt click on the next video. Don't raise your eyebrows at me. I'm just doing my best up here. I don't need to take this shit from you.